everybody's getting here. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a longtime BTS fan. I have a psychology degree and I react to all kinds of things. So today we're talking about BTS's Normal. So they released a music video on Spotify, I believe, so I'm gonna check that out. And I've already seen Normal. I reacted to Arirang on my channel. So I do know that it's like more emotionally heavy, kind of like the toll of global stardom, like the cost of fame, public perception. It goes into all of those themes. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna put that in like video format. So let's get into it. I'm so excited. Okay, so the video is on Spotify. It has kind of a weird UI, but that's okay. We'll see if I can get through that. And I'm gonna be pausing a lot because I have heard the song, so I just kind of want to analyze the video or maybe the lyrics again in a different way, so sorry in advance. Oh no, oh no, all my coherent thought is leaving me. Don't put Jungkook in the shower in the first 20 seconds of this video. Are you kidding me? They can't be doing that. You can't be doing that to me, okay? You do be looking good. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Alright, so let me talk about it. So the first kind of opening scene, there's a woman throwing these Polaroid pictures, maybe of happier times. They all seem to be smiling in them. There's like shots of this sort of party where they're living this glamorous lifestyle, and then it goes into this shot of a swan. Now, if you haven't listened to BTS's Black Swan, I suggest you go do that as well, but this is what it's reminding me of. So in the song Black Swan, they build on these themes of Carl Jung's psychological framework. It was from the album Map of the Soul 7, so there was like this white swan sort of persona of them that represented like public, glamorous, successful global like pop stars, and then this black sort of swan persona represented like their shadow, the hidden darker side that harbored more self-doubt. So I feel like them showing a white swan here that, you know, did represent the like public persona or like this glamorous lifestyle persona of success. I think that's very intentional, and I think that's really clever if that's what they're doing here. Then it comes in with the title, and it spells normal backwards, which is obviously abnormal and meant to kind of make you think about it. And then we move on to Jungkook in the shower. So the only reason a person would be in the shower with their clothes on like this would be if you're having some kind of like emotional mental break. So I think that's kind of what's happening here. Just like a visual representation that he's going through something. Jimin, you can't be doing this. Both of you, in the first 30 seconds of this video, you cannot be doing this, okay? Am I gonna get through this? Can I possibly get through this? Okay. Locked in. The things we choose. Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof. Yeah, we call this shit normal. Run away, out of sight, don't know what I want. Wish I had a minute just to turn me off. Kerosene, dopamine, what I gotta do. Yeah, we call this shit normal. Alright, okay, let's talk about it. So, Jimin comes in with this scene of him on the bed, almost like he's having maybe a depressive episode, and this is something that BTS has always been open about sharing like their emotions or how they feel about things. Some of the imagery, I'm wondering if that's meant to represent that. There's like uneaten food here in the background, there's a chessboard, usually representative of like logic in some way, that you're going through something that feels like a chess match in your life, and the background's very almost like Victorian era, but there's these lanterns and lamps. So the lyric is kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced. So kerosene is a type of fuel, or like an older type of fuel that they would put into like jets or in like old-timey lanterns as fuel. So I'm wondering if that's just like maybe something that has evolved over the ages and that's why they've chosen kerosene specifically. And then they mentioned dopamine right after, which is a neurotransmitter and a hormone that acts as a chemical messenger in your brain. It's often associated with like pleasure or happiness, something that maybe fuels your motivation, your desire to seek out a reward-based structure. So if you went to a therapist and were like, hey, I'm depressed, in the broad umbrella of things, they're likely going to give you an antidepressant that doesn't directly contain dopamine, but it stimulates your brain to produce, release, or retain more of your own dopamine. So saying, you know, chemical induced it's like this manufactured happiness, I think is what they're trying to get at. And in this scene, it definitely seems that way. Okay, let's talk about Jin's scene here. Okay, so let's talk about Jin's scene. So he's out here drinking, maybe like a cup of tea by himself. There's a shot of this woman in the window who I almost thought was a doll at first, but that seems to be a real person. And they're both kind of mirroring the same pose of like leaning back with their eyes closed as he's singing about, I just need a minute, or like, I wish I had a minute to turn me off. Sort of like, you know, even if the cameras are off, even if they're under public scrutiny all the time, it's like even in their heads, like it doesn't go away. Like he just needs a minute to step away from everything and to just really think about how he wants to be or how he wants his life to be, or like what kind of person they are. I think they've always thought about this in prior work where they try to consider who they are publicly versus privately. It's like it's just highlighting maybe their desire to be anonymous sometimes, to just turn off the intense public persona that they have. And then V comes in, and he looks like he's having a rough time. So he's beat up physically, and I think that's meant to represent how he feels emotionally on the inside. And he also seems to be alone in this room. There seems to be buckets of champagne. He's lounging, like he's depressed as well. And then they have this kind of shot of the fish tank, which makes me feel like they feel like they're in a fishbowl almost.
The head and you're chasing true. We'll color me red, we'll color me blue. Two sides of a coin and they both ain't true. It's different from me, it's different for you. Got me feeling things unusual, and I live in more. Got me and my feelings ever on this wall, and my knees is kerosene.
Alright, let's talk about it. Okay, so in this room together, there's a giant, I want to say sort of like a mirror in the back, but it's one of those 360 mirrors where it sees all. It's not just this flat sort of mirror. It's like the ones where you go into like a gas station or a grocery store where you know that they're watching you at all times. And Jimin's part here feels like one of the most impactful lines of the song. Like just to me personally in my thoughts. But will you color me red? Will you color me blue? Two sides of a coin and they both ain't true. So to me, that feels like a metaphor that kind of reflects how the public and media try to like fix labels to them. So they'd color them red, they'd color them blue, but in actuality, you know, like they're purple. You don't know them, they don't know anything about them. And it's meant to express that they're like complex, multi-dimensional. Not everything is black and white, not everything is red and blue. It like fails to capture maybe like their complete selves. Sort of like Queen of Hearts painting the roses red, where everybody kind of just went along with it because they didn't want to rock the boat. So I think that's what that means. Okay, there's shots that are kind of going by really quickly, almost like flash photography, almost like when you start and stop like a film, like a rolling film, actual film. There would be like a flash of light right when it starts and a flash of light right when it ends. So I'm wondering if it's meant to be almost either paparazzi or that this is just on film and I'm thinking about it too much. But it's very contrast where they're alone and they all seem upset. They're together and they seem to be like a little bit better, but there does seem to be this note of exhaustion. Like you can just tell in all of their faces where they're just so done with it. This is what we're calling normal. This is the shit we're calling normal, I guess. Like they've just kind of gone with it or accepted it.
Run away
So there's this contrast of this party scene that's happening where they seem to be enjoying the party, but they're still like lonely, like they're surrounded by all these people and they're still like alone at times. So Jungkook's line, "Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof." So bulletproof is their namesake. 방탄소년단 literally translates to bulletproof Boy Scouts. And J-Hope had famously said that they want to block out stereotypes and criticism aimed at, young people or their fans. So to me, it's saying, whether you love me, whether you hate me, we're still BTS, we're still going to be doing that, but they are human and things do affect them.
Make me bulletproof, yeah, we call this shit normal. Run away, out of sight, don't know what I want. Yeah, had a minute just to turn me up. I can't receive dopamine, what I gotta do. Yeah, we call this shit normal. How I'm supposed to feel? Used to think that I was built to the hard metal still. Now I understand the truth, some pain don't heal. If everything's just happy, that ain't real. That ain't real. I read everything.
Okay, so I think J-Hope kind of elaborated on what I was just saying. Like, he thought his heart was made of steel, but it turns out it, wasn't. Some pain just doesn't heal. So some things, just can't be taken back. Some things do bother them. They are human. They are people. And there's a shot where he's walking through like this garden or maybe forest path. And every time there's a break in what he's saying, there's this party scene that's showing up. So this contrast of like his famous persona, his personal persona, who he wants to be, who they actually are. So the scene where he's standing in the bathtub watering the ground. Now, obviously, your bathtub would be in your bathroom. This is somewhere private, somewhere where other people can't see you. And the fact that the bathtub is out in the path, like this public space, makes me feel like they know, like, we're always under scrutiny, that people can see them, that people are invested in what they're doing, whether they want them to be or not. So I think it's just, again, like another call out to it's like, it's not normal, they don't have any privacy, and they're aware of it. Let's continue.
Don't heal. If everything's just happy, that ain't real. That ain't real. I read everything I like 1,000 times. No more less passion, they are just some lies. One deep side that it slips away, fades away. When I try to keep, never want to stay. Run away, pushing me, pulling me. Said you wanted all of me, but what is even all of me? Suddenly, part of me is hurting me. Heard the things they calling me, or what the hell you want from me?
Okay, so Suga comes in, there's this couch, which already reminds me of Boy with Love. So it's the scene where they all run out and they're all dancing and having a good time. And at some point, this couch materializes out from behind the sign and they all jump onto it and sit down. So that's immediately what that made me think of. And then from there, there's this giant fence where he's almost trying to maybe climb over it, gets to the top, and gives up. That could be like a gilded cage kind of reference, that they feel trapped, that they feel like even if they put in a lot of effort to get over this wall, maybe sometimes it's not worth it. Or it could just be the visual representation of struggle. Okay, so I really want to talk about RM's part here because something stood out to me about the partying, about the cake in particular here. Is this a Marie Antoinette call out? Is that what the reference is? I thought the same thing with Jin, with the kind of like blonde hair lady. So for those of you who don't know, Marie Antoinette was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. She was Austrian, I believe, and had this arranged marriage like really young. And it just like immediately made her like this target for French suspicion from the public. So when she ascended the throne, I feel like people kind of went after her. She was like under high scrutiny. They didn't like her. And there was this myth of like the let them eat cake, where peasants had said they had no bread to eat. So she arrogantly said, well, like, let them eat cake. Like, it was so out of touch and uncaring. They wanted to paint this picture of her that she was like a monster or someone who didn't care. And she had this resistance to their political reforms that kind of made her this like hated symbol or like oppressive monarchy symbol. So they basically tried her for treason, found her guilty under like really no evidence, and sent her to the guillotine. So she, I feel like, really embodies this normal theme that they have going on of the public scrutiny, of people come after them, people want to send them to this metaphorical guillotine for things that, you know, they've made up, that things that aren't happening, things that have nothing to do with them. And if that's the reference here, I feel like that's really clever, actually.
I mean, but what is even out of me? Suddenly, part of me is hurting me. Heard the things they calling me, or what the hell you want from me?
Okay, so I heard the things you're calling me, what the hell you want from me. So I think that also fits the theme of like the Marie Antoinette of what they were trying to say there. So this also reminds me of the scene in Spring Day where RM is going between the train carts, and when he finally gets to, you know, the one that he's going for, he's met with this opposition of getting like a cake thrown in his face. And this scene was also meant to be, you know, more somber, more darker than it implies. So I'm wondering if maybe that was also a reference. And then again, they have the shot of like being in a fishbowl, like they're fish in an aquarium. I like that.
Got me feeling things so unusual, and I live in more. Got me at my feelings up on this wall, and my knees is kerosene.
I feel like they have so many references to older music videos in this, and even the newer ones. Okay, so we have the compass from Swim, which was representative, you know, like to just keep swimming, keep moving forward, to have this sort of like compass where ARMY and BTS will always find each other, or just in general, you'll always find your way. The scene with Jungkook and the lighter, though, I feel like reminds me of Fire for some reason. I feel like they have so many like callbacks that I'm not sure if I'm like reaching for or not, but that's just what it makes me think of right off the bat.
My feelings up on this wall, and my knees is kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced fantasy and fame, yet the things we choose.
Was it the ship from Swim? Yeah, I think it might have been. Interesting. And then there's this sort of like pillow fight scene happening. So my read of that towards the end is this pillow fight that's happening sort of reminds me of Run, or J-Hope and Jimin kind of playfully start this pillow fight, and it just kind of continues through the music video. So I was also thinking it was a callback to this, so that's very interesting.
Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof. I've called this shit normal. Run away, out of sight, don't know what I want. Wish I had a minute just to turn me up. Kerosene, dopamine, what I gotta do? Yeah, we call this shit normal. No, we call this shit normal. No, we call this shit normal. Yeah, no, we call this shit normal.
Who was that? What was that at the end there? Oh, I love it. So I'm gonna go back and talk about the end here with the pillow fight and the urinals. So I feel like everything here happening is obviously abnormal. You know, this isn't what a normal bathroom would look like, just hanging out with 7 of your bros. I assume. I'm not a guy, I don't know, but I think it's just a contrast that they're like facing this sort of scrutiny together all as like one, and it doesn't really matter to them. So this urinal scene reminds me of Boy in Love, where they have kind of already made this joke, so I thought that was a funny callback as well. There's the scenes with this sort of party happening, and the dogs. You know, when you're rich, you're famous, you go to parties, you have the dog, you have this whole, like, public persona. If you think of, like, Paris Hilton sort of vibes, where this is, like, all people know you for is this one singular thing, or, like, your money, but they don't really know, like, anything about your personality, I think is what I'm trying to say. I feel like the dogs are representative of that, but I could be wrong. Oh, he's so cute. Is that Bam, or did Jungkook not bring him for this? He seems a little too small to be Bam. It's bad that I genuinely can't tell. That's not him. That's definitely not him. But I do think it's cute that at the end here, it's just all of them kind of together. That, like I said, they're just gonna face the scrutiny, all the love, the hate together. And no matter what, they're still gonna be themselves. They're goofy BTS selves, so that's what I'm taking away from all of this. So those are my thoughts on Normal. Let me know down in the comments below if you, like, saw something I didn't, or if I'm, like, overreaching here for something that doesn't exist, but I always love analyzing BTS's videos and their music. It speaks to me on a deeper level, and I genuinely appreciate everybody who shows up to like, to comment, to talk about it. It really does mean a whole lot to me. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to see more content, you can find my Patreon in the link below. I know everybody has a Patreon, but it's free right now, okay? So you might as well, you know, just pop over there, subscribe to it. I'm going to start adding a whole lot of things to it. Right now I'm going through Enhypen's discography, so if you like want to follow my adventure through other artists as well as BTS in the future, like, comment, subscribe for all of that. But thank you guys so much for being here. This has been Skitten here, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye bye!